Hi, Rich Pellegrino, Rich the Equalizer Pellegrino from the Global Woke Institute, at Global Woke Institute on social media, YouTube channel, website www.howwokeami.org. Uh, Got to update that website with some all new videos, including this one, but you can find them on my YouTube channel at Global Woke Institute. So there's been a lot going on in this country and in the world, but constantly we have to re-examine. I have to re-examine myself. Who am I? Where am I in this world? Who am I? What am I? And how do I fit in? And what role do I play? My goal always is to do the most good and the least harm, or the least harm, either one. But to try to do the most good and the least harm, because it boils down to good and bad, good and evil. Uh, so let's re-examine our authentic personal identity. Now, if you're American, you'll see on my website there's a wokefulness test. How woke am I? And you automatically get points if you're from another country outside of the U.S. And why is that? Because we've been so indoctrinated with lies, false identity, more so than any other people probably in the world, or maybe in history. Um, because, and I know this may rub some people the wrong way, but America is a lie. Americanism is a lie. So if you hitched your wagon to that lie, you're going down with the lie that is America. The MAGA lie, Make America Great. It's never been great. There's good things about it. There's good things about everything, but it's never been great. I got into a debate on Nextdoor with someone, the Nextdoor app. Some people were complaining about how authoritarian it's become because we've got masked ICE agents going after immigrants. But if you really objectively look at the history of America, that's nothing new. Trump is nothing new. He's just a prime example of America, the lie that is America. That's always been authoritarian rule versus democratic rule, dictatorship versus democracy. We've never had a democracy. We've always had authoritarian rule by the few, dictatorship by the few, whatever you want to call it. The president and the leaders have been a puppet of the few elite, wealthy landowners and so forth. The whole Constitution was written to favor the wealthy, and that's the way it's been from the beginning until now. We've had authoritarian rule, but we've always. I wrote a paper, 50 Ways That We're Still Slaves, all of us. Okay, and I'll share that on the website as well. It's called Pathways to Freedom, and a declaration of independence, a true declaration of independence. We just celebrated the 4th of July. But if you think about it, all people, especially people of color, have been under autocratic dictator rule, undemocratic rule from the beginning of this country, starting with Native Americans who were massacred, and those that were saved or left behind were herded up and put on in concentration camps called reservations to this day. Pure autocracy, okay? Pure North Korea, whatever place in the world you point your finger out, or Americans point their finger out. We invented it here, okay? So then, when we couldn't enslave we tried first to enslave Native Americans, tried to enslave poor white people, didn't work. So then we imported black Africans and, quote, black Africans, and put them in concentration camps called plantations with complete autocratic dictatorship rule, not only on the plantations, but the laws, that declared them property, three-fifths human, the laws of our institutions, totally autocracy, okay? Autocratic rule, dictatorship, whatever you want to call it. Okay, going down, then the war was fought to free the slaves, quote, free the slaves, and soon after that, oh, by the way, let me mention that, okay, uh, white people were also treated without democratic rule, without self-determination. White poor people, right? Because it's always been about the elite, the wealthy white people. So yes, first they tried to enslave them. Then they called it sharecropping, which is, was one or two steps below slavery. But also during the Civil War, you were exempt if you were a white Southerner fighting for the Confederate Army. Well, number one, if you owned slaves, you didn't have to fight. For every 10 slaves that you owned, one person did not have, in your family, yourself, or your sons, or whatever, did not have to join the army and fight to defend your slavery. Okay? So again, poor white people had to fight to protect the elite white people. Okay, white people's system of slavery, of autocracy. So poor white people have always been a few notches above, given a couple of notches above people of color, but have been enslaved, and and still are to this day. So then slavery was overturned, at least partially, in the 13th Amendment after the Civil War. And so Jim Crow came about, which was autocratic mob government rule in the South. The rest of the country had sundown towns, meaning if you were a person of color, black, you couldn't be there after sundown. Totally autocratic, undemocratic rule. Okay? And so during that time, you had a thing called peonage, where they criminalized blacks. Anything that black people did, playing dominoes or something on the street or cards, was vagrancy, so they could arrest you for any little thing and then lease you while you're in jail, because the 13th Amendment didn't prohibit slavery, or it did prohibit slavery except as punishment for a crime. And so ingeniously or deviously, as an autocratic system is, and this is the most, I would say, subtle, devious one, because it's so insidious with it convincing people, brainwashing people that they're free when they're not. All people, all Americans. So then they imprisoned, mass incarcerated black people and leased them right back to the same plantation owners and to companies and so forth. Okay? Autocratic rule. You can't find this anywhere else in the world, this deviousness. Okay? And so that mass incarceration has gone on to this day. As a matter of fact, in this century, we've had more black people in prison, many of them unjustifiably, than South Africa did, percentage-wise, of their population during apartheid. Okay? So this is the land of the free. Okay? And that's still going on. So, if you think America is the greatest or one of the best or whatever, it's a total lie. It's evil. The system is evil, the American system. Not the people. People are, just trying to live their lives. Most people just trying to provide for their families, love themselves, love other people, and so forth. But we've been so brainwashed here to believe that because we're American, we're somehow superior, along with the other lies. Because I'm white or I'm of a certain race, I'm superior to others. Total lie. Because I'm a male, superior to female. Or because I'm straight, I'm superior to gay. total lie. Because I'm Christian, I'm superior to Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, Native, Indigenous people, or atheists. Total lie. It's not even scripture based. Okay? It's not Christian based. It's not God based. So we have lies, layers and layers of lies that have been pounded into our identity. So we really have to search for authentic identity to get back and to save ourselves, saves America, save the world in many ways, because all different people, the beauty and strength of America is its diversity. We really are the largest, most diverse country in the world, with all the people's cultures, races, and so forth. So now we have to come up with a new America and maybe a new name, because, by the way, the U.S. is just United States of America. Canada is a part of America, North America. Mexico is America. Central America, South America, all those countries. The West Indies are part of America. So even the name America, calling ourselves Americans, is a big lie, as if we're the only Americans. Okay, so the Gulf of America is pretty accurate, because it's the Gulf of all the Americas. Anyway, that's the lie. Okay, let's get to the truth, our authentic identity, mind, body, and spirit. Who am I? Who are we really? And then we can know our purpose and what our purpose is here. And that'll be the topic for our next video. Over and over again, I have to come back to this theme, because we can't fulfill a purpose if we don't know who we are. Okay, ciao.